Brenda Lainof is joining us today to share her near-death experiences, the moose attack and the spiritual meaning behind it. Also, how she incorporates light language into her amazing energy work. Let's get into our interview with Brenda. So welcome, Brenda. It's wonderful to have you here on Perfectly Paranormal. Would you like to share with the listeners who you are and some of the amazing work that you do?
Well, thank you, Anna. And yeah, it was fun having our chat prior to starting this call today. So, my name's Brenda Lainof. I'm in a city called Medicine Hat in Alberta, Canada. I was guided to this area, and I could see why there's a lot of light workers in the area, and it has this sort of native indigenous background, obviously, in this part of the country. So I got guided into energy work, not understanding that I was an empath. I really didn't know that I was an empath. That word was not even around at the time that I started working corporate. So, of course, I'm working single mom back then, and you're doing whatever you need to do to make the money. I come into work in a pretty well male dominated industry, and I'm picking up on people, and I'm the one feeling out of place, feeling weird, never felt like I belonged. I think that's very common for many of us that do energy work. And now that we can talk about what we do, we're finding this common thread. So I'm picking up on people and their energies, and it sort of led me probably about 25 years now into various types of energy work. And once you start with one, it leads to another that leads to another. It's a never-ending quest because it's infinite energy we're dealing with. And so it's constant quest of learning and then bringing it all together. And it's allowed me just to be myself. And now I am myself. It's taken all of these years and going through 3 near-death experiences of I'm here. And this is what I do. I love helping people. I really love helping. I'm empowering people. So when I meet with my clients, it's just not this happened, that. It's like getting you on board and getting you confident that you are also learning to take charge to your healing. I'm facilitating your self-healing, get you strong and confident. Yes, I have maybe a trapped emotion or whatever that is, and we work together. So I love doing that. It's all about empowerment.
I love that when I talk to energy workers who acknowledge the fact that we aren't healers. I don't like that word. We do not heal people. We empower people to heal themselves by giving them a head start by helping remove the emotions or the paranormal beings or getting them to see counselors talking about their trauma in their lives. That is wonderful to hear that. And also too, look, we so align, you and I feel that probably a lot of energy workers feel like they are different. They are odd right from childhood. Did you find that even in childhood you didn't feel like you fitted in with what everybody else was doing? You had different, maybe you read different books or you had different ideas or you wanted to talk about different things. Did you find that you were shut down as a child because people didn't understand your viewpoint?
Well, I think for myself, I look back on my family, especially with COVID. As we know, COVID created a lot of division, even amongst the family members. And when I go back in time, I can see the roles that we all had within our family. And I was the one that overgave. I'm the one that had to make things better. That was my way of getting self-esteem. And I think for a lot of us, when we overgive, then we feel, that worthiness. And it's not until things happen till the boundaries have been so violated that you go, no, this isn't working anymore. And you start setting some strong, assertive, about healthy boundaries with people. And then allows you to jump in and be who you need to be, why we're here. We all are here for, various reasons, not just one. But yes, I think for most of us, for myself, it was my role to make things, and I had to kind of dumb down and I didn't fit in, and I still don't fit in with the family and their expectations, and I'm okay with that. It's been very painful, and I'm having to really let go. But if that's what it is, that's what it is. I'm going to live my life.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Sometimes we go through, I think a lot of energy workers go through struggle, and my children accept what I do, but they don't acknowledge it or recognize it as anything that they want to deal with. But they know that I'm doing good work that serves others for their well-being, to live more positive lives. So they leave me to do it, but they don't really, we never talk about it. It's a bit of a taboo subject. It's one of those things, you know. I've always been an oddity as well. It's just, we're just different people. We're here as way shows. When you're talking about your family, I think we give people who are skeptical or non-believers, we plant a seed that there is something else. Even if they don't believe, you've planted the seed in your family with what you do. And same for me, and probably the same. Even if they don't believe, it's in there. Once it's in there, it never goes. That's really interesting. Now, I heard you mention that you had some near-death experiences. Would you like to share what you're comfortable with about what happened, what occurred afterwards? Was there some change in you as an energy worker after your near-death experiences?
Well, I will talk about my first one,
Sure.
and I know this was guiding me to step up more so. So I had to go for a hysterectomy. I did that, and I said, my ovaries, keep my ovaries. Issues later in my ovary area. We're going to do day surgery, Brenda. So we're going to see what's going on. I had a very ominous feeling before I went into the hospital before the whole procedure. As soon as I received the anesthesia, I went into cardiac arrest. It was immediate. And they're like, oh my God. So they had to bring me back. So after waking up from this cardiac arrest, it's supposed to be like just a little day surgery, said, Brenda, we're going to take you to the cardiac unit because you've had a cardiac arrest. So I'm in shock. This, what happened, it's supposed to be like a procedure. So into the room, 3 a.m. in the morning. And I remember I had, those really horrible gowns that they put you in, like in the hospital. And there's a clock up straight ahead. It was 3. There's this lady standing beside me. And not that I really talk a lot about angels. I'm not much. Okay, Archangel Raphael came to me. She stood beside me and she was like so sweet and apologetic about everything that happened. And it was 3 in the morning. It was like, wow, that's really sweet. That's so nice. And I'm still in shock. Hours later, the nursing staff was really cool to me. They just were like so concerned that I was going to press them with a lawsuit. So I had the staff turn on me. The staff turned on me. The medical team turned on me. And I was like, what is going on? Maybe about a week, 10 days later, I'm back home on the ranch. We actually had an acreage. So we had an acreage. We had donkeys, people. We had donkeys. So I'm in this beautiful acreage area in the foothills west of Calgary, Alberta. So by the mountains. And my husband is away to the States, and here I'm in Alberta. And I'm feeding, okay, this is the story. I'm feeding my donkeys hay. So I'm going out the back door. There's this big hay bed, and I'm like, I feel like a real farmer, little acreage owner, but I feel like a farmer. I just came out. So I'm starting to pitch. It's called pitch the hay towards my donkeys. I get charged by a moose. Now, if you know what a moose is, they're very, very strong, powerful animals because it's seeing me and it's wanting what that whatever the hay, whatever I'm doing, it's charging me. And I'm going, oh my God, of course, I'm running in like a little with a pitchfork into the house, slam the door. And then I got mad. I thought, how dare you? How dare you? It was like this surge of power came through, and I thought, screw you. In fact, I know my chapter for some book will be Screw You Moose. So that's the title. So I come out again to the same position, and I'm watching because it's back up in the hill, in the trees, and I start doing it again. And it charged me the second time. And I found out later, and of course, I ran to the house, slammed the door. I talked to my neighbors and they said, Brenda, do you know what a moose can do? And I'm quite new at this whole acreage living. I said, no, they can break down a door. They can run up the steps. They can break through. Like, these are powerful, powerful beings. That cardiac arrest gave me such a surge. And I could have been taken out. That lady that was standing beside me, she was an angel. I know she was an angel. I felt it. I know it. And that was what I needed to go through. So it was an experience that I needed to go through. And then that's carried me through because I shouldn't have survived that very first one. So that's got me really, it really pushed me into what I'm doing more so today. And I needed, there's something that just had to happen. It was in maybe the Akashic records, whatever you want to call it, but I needed to go through that. And it's quite the story. So if you ever see somewhere in somebody's book, Screw You Moose, no, that's by Brenda Lainof.
That's amazing. And I think, you know what,
I know.
people talk about all that light, fluffy, angelic stuff, live in love and light. It's a load of rubbish because we have to go through all the hard times and deal with all the trauma and everything like we talked about before we started this interview. The universe gives us the hard stuff to give us understanding about how to handle other situations that are going to come our way, if that makes sense.
I would not have gone out the second time. Like who would do that? Nobody goes out, the second time just to confront the moose. Like that's unheard of. So if you ever want to know what does moose look like, you Google an image of a moose. That's what charged me. But I was just fearless, and I was fearless because I was so angry that this, the medical community was trying to turn this that I created it is what they're insinuating. I created it. So
How do you
here we
create a
go.
cardiac arrest? I mean, sorry,
Yeah,
that's just.
yeah. I think I reacted, okay, maybe to the anesthesia, whatever that is. But anyways, end of the day, they tried to blame me and I was so angry. So that was one of the major ones. I know I have other ones. I will relay this one story. So I used to do interviews and I've got them on, some on my website at brendalainof.com. And I was interviewing an author, this author, and he was talking about some uncomfortable subjects similar to what we're talking about today. As we do this, I'm just making sure I got a lot of protection. And then I got an attack. The attack was so severe that I had to shut down the show. I don't even remember shutting down the show. It was so severe, I was out of my body. So thank goodness I have a tremendous amount of great practitioners connections that I've made diligently over, long period of time. So I was just like, hey, I don't know, I'm not right. Can you check on me? Can you check? So I had people work on me and clear some major entities. So that was one. And then what did happen after that interview is that it did shut me down. I thought I'm not stopping with this. Now, since that time, other things, COVID, and then I'm doing other things. I'm got into this, got into that. So I'm not, that same fear is not there anymore, but I know it was trying to shut me down. And through two other major surgeries in 2019, amazingly, they just about got me there. And anyways, I won't bore you with those stories, but here I am, and I'm doing what I'm doing, and I love incorporating and testing on entities if that's related to whatever issues going on. So that's part of what I do. And if it's this lifetime, past lifetime, maybe it's carried through. It's something that I check on. And then I go through my own process. I also download light language if anybody's familiar with that. If they're not comfortable with that, that's fine. But I was guided to light language 2019 in particular, in between two major surgeries where I didn't know if I was going to make it. So I thought, okay, this might sound crazy and I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to start channeling. So I took out my little microphone, same one I have today, and I was just like, all these noises coming out. And I sensed it was no, it was my mother. It was my mother coming through who was telling me to quit worrying, to settle down, everything's going to be fine. It was like, holy shit. And it was true. And it was fine. And I went into that surgery where they just about lost me again. And I came out and they're like in shock that I came out because they were extremely confident that the tumor that they would take out, they, called pheochromatosis, would be no problem. They could do this. Just about lost me. So I do channel and I find when I'm with the entities, if I'm testing, oh, it's this, type of entity, I will channel as well. Just free flow, let it go, create an audio. Audio I convert and send. So you've got that particular audio for that maybe particular entity. You can save in your Dropbox or whatever. Should you need to, so it's there if you need to come back to it at some point in time.
So when you talk about entities, are we talking, I'm just going to rattle off a few here,
Yeah, no, go
spirits,
ahead.
elementals, dark, demonic beings, cosmic beings, interdimensional beings, shadow people, the magic mailmen, as I call them, the summoned entities that are contracted as...
I do work from offensive energies being sent from others.
Yeah,
So that's my big one. And not all entities are bad. I just
no,
want to make that clear. So because the veil is so thin right now, and it's close to, I don't know if you celebrate Halloween. We have celebrate Halloween here. And I have had things missing. They just go missing. It's been really pissing me off. It's just like, I know I held this item, but somehow magically it disappears. I've had it happen before and it makes me mad. And I know there's someone playing some tricksters on me. So just recently, I was just like, I am so tired. I'm missing my coat. I'm missing my sweater. I'm missing my walking stick. And now I'm missing my hat and I'm pissed because why are these all being missed? So I had a friend, and because I'm working with other people, I'm not thinking about testing on myself. He says, Brenda, you've got like these spirits and they're playing on you. So yeah, did a clearing and they're fine. And so I'm just, that's one of the things. If I feel like there's something going on, some tricksters, then I test on that, see what that is, and through a process, we do a clearing. So I look for example, anchor chains and hooks. There could be blackmail that's being sent and it can take out people. I know someone, I really feel very much that he was taken out. So I'm very aware of them. If you, as an empath, you might be walking into a store and all of a sudden you're feeling this heaviness. It could be there's entities, or they can, maybe you can, they can jump on you from somebody else. And as a light being, we're attracting them. You don't want to. I don't want to. Rather just have my black cap on and come in conspicuously anywhere, but that's just the way it is. And so you are going to attract that. And I work with clients, and I know that their mission is to help bring them to the light. So they're coming to them, and there's a reason, because they need their assistance to move to the light. So I would hope if that happened to me, I would have someone who could help move me to the light if something happens. If it's, you're taken out like in an accident, or you just don't know what's going on. So I do work with, again, like offensive energies. It could be maybe from a church, some organization. We bought into a lot of systems in the world. we're really brainwashed. There's a lot of brainwashing that goes on from many institutions. It can be government, it can be pharma, it can be the school, it can be churches, it can be all sorts of institutions. So it's important to get very, very clear and centered and balanced, and then uncover where are these coming from, and then go through the process. So it's really a combination. And I've had them obviously sent to me, as I mentioned, on that one interview that I did with this one author, and it just shut me down. I couldn't function. I couldn't hardly walk. I could hardly talk. And it was, thank goodness, that due to my gifted fellow, whatever you want to call us, friends, practitioners, that was able to bring me back. So it is important to have when someone like you, Anna, really knowledgeable, and other, you can tap into, like, oh my God, something's happened. I don't know what that is. And then help you go through the process in clearing them out.
You won't find this strange, is that since I've had, I call the magic interference or the magic attack, and we're not going to glorify it, it is what it is. It's people using
Mm-hmm.
underhanded tactics to attack you. I
Yeah.
hear it. Magic and entities
Wow.
come with a hum. They come with a, I used to describe it as someone mowing the lawns in the distance. And there's that constant low hum all the time. And I don't know if practitioners know that that is present, but your energy body, which is your chakras, meridian lines, your energy field, consciousness, subconsciousness, so forth, that reacts to the presence of magic, whether it's internal or external. All mine is external, like it's around the outside of my energy fields, Taurus field, and so forth. But I can hear it. If I
Interesting.
if I hear the hum, as I call it, just so it's one word, hum, I know there's magic
Mm-hmm.
present, and it's usually entities, because the magic mailmen, as I've nicknamed them, they deliver the magic through portals, cording, whatever methods they're
Mm,
using to deliver
yeah,
it. And when I
yeah.
shift it and move it, the hum disappears.
Interesting.
So that's the experimenting. You've got to experiment with this, because I don't understand
Yeah,
magic. I'm not a practitioner. I've just got whacked with it seriously. And they whacked the wrong person,
yeah.
because I'm determined to
Right,
survive this. And I have for 4 years so
right.
far.
Awesome. And you know what I found? They're very, very sneaky. So when I've been muscle testing, so I muscle test DAOs,
Yeah.
I'm testing that the entities are connecting to the pathogens. So viral, bacteria, heavy metals, and so forth. And they're activating. So anytime that anyone gets some unforeign substance, let's leave it as that, into their system, where they're programmed to have it in their system, then you are more apt. You are more apt, as probably everybody knows, when you have the drink, or drugs that are easily accessible in Canada. Just go outside of your hospital in one province and get what you want. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. So we've got into a society that just accepting, at least in my country, of drugs. That's fine, no problem. So people need to get educated and start protecting yourself, learn about it, learn, there is, the dark and the light. That's just a reality, no matter what religion you come out of, and it doesn't matter. But that is the truth. And anyone who's walking of the light, we're susceptible to attacks. So it's learning about it, not denying it, and you could get some hard knocks. And that's part of our journey. If it's true or not, we signed up for this. Maybe we signed up, okay, I'll come into Earth, and all these things are going to happen. Maybe, maybe not, whatever that story is. But we are going to go through some challenge. Many go through challenges and feel out of place. I didn't feel in place all those decades of working. I did feel odd. I felt like I didn't belong. Hasn't been until, well, I've been in this work now for many years. But I know that this is where I am. And my confidence is just skyrocketed because I'm just not going to take any, you know, I've been there, done that. So do my best at protecting that I'm aware of. Sometimes there's tricksters that can take that hat that you just held a moment ago and then it magically appears later. But you know that we just have to do our best and live our life. And that's where I'm at. If it's on a physical, mental, emotional, at all levels, I work with many, many modalities. It really doesn't matter. There's not one that's the magic. It all blends together. And if it's past life, if there's some situation that and that energy is doing, still hanging on, and that's an energy that's been brought into this lifetime. Well, maybe there was an entity that was attached then. So stepping back in time or whatever, it's just going where we've been guided to go.
I think it's so hard because I look at it this way, that all dimensions, all space, and all time all exists, all in the one place, all at the
Yeah.
one time. So we're living it all the time.
Right.
You know,
Right.
people talk about shadow people. I've sort of shadow people. I saw a shadow person the other day in my bedroom. But are you in their space? Not they're in
Right.
your space. Are they seeing
That's
you
it.
in their dimension?
Yes.
We can't assume that
Yes.
we're seeing everything because we're overlapping with them. And the same with the dark and the
Yes.
demonic beings. I work with a religious demonologist who talks about
Mm.
Earth being the devil's playground, because we're here and we're
Hmm.
being tempted and we're being taunted by the entities all day long for desires and wants and outcomes, the cars, the money, a job, a relationship, whatever. It's all temptation, and it's all what we do with that. Do we accept it? Do we question it? Do we deny it? Do we make our own path? It's really hard living here on Earth. Like it is just every
It is
lifetime is just
hard.
hard. It's hard work. None of it is easy. And people who think it's
No,
easy and it's all love and light, that's a load of BS.
it is BS. I totally agree. It was interesting today. So I'm walking through the main street here in the city that I live in, and there was a lady that was in the market that I was in on the weekend. And I thought, great, I didn't know she was here. I popped in, and then right across the street is a guy. He's crazy. Like the guy's gone and he's screaming and yelling. And I'm going, take me to the fifth dimension. Like, am I in the same timeline? But that is exactly what you said. And we're both looking at one another because we're both, get it. And just like, oh, well, we're watching the show. We're watching the show because this person is in his own dimension. And it's not, I agree, we're in these parallel times, dimensions. And so it's not that I don't believe we're going to go anywhere. It's just that we're here. It's very difficult. So whatever goes on, the craziness that goes on is being in, my timeline and flourishing. I mean, I want to flourish, not to constantly protect myself from the entities. That's tiresome. My intention, and I'm doing this to my best ability, and it's an ongoing process because I'm learning, is to be more of the manifestation creating. And I want to be in that energy, of creating and bringing in the right people. And the ones that are not in alignment, it's okay. You don't need to see me. And if I sense that there's some jealousy or you're sending some negative energy, if I detect that, I'm not going to let that go. My intuition is my guide, my GPS. You're gone. No, I don't have time for anything else. I want the right people who are in alignment with me, and for them as well. There's no point wasting our time, no judgment, no comparison. Let's just get on with our life and let's make the remaining days that we have flourish in them. And I'm with everybody else as well. I'm in this school learning as well. And as hard as it is, and it may look like there's no end in sight, it's like doing this and collaborating with people like yourself so we keep our sanity, talk about these subjects that are maybe uncomfortable for some people. And if so, that's okay. Each to their own, but having that support, collaboration, not comparison, not judgment, not trying to bring us down because of their insecurity, but working together so we can support one another. It doesn't matter what part of the world you're in.
But I've worked with a lot of young people who have been marijuana addicts. Like, I'm not a counsellor, I'm not a therapist, I'm not saying I'm not a medical person in any
Right.
way at all. But they've been to the doctors, got the medication, trying to get themselves on the right track. But there's still something that keeps pulling them down. And it's the entities that are drawing them back to the low vibrational activities, which for them, because it's easy to get hold of, is the marijuana. And it keeps them in that low state where the
Yes.
entities have control. And these people are
Yes.
like 17, 18, 20. And they've come
Yeah.
to me of their own free will, because I only work with people who give permission.
Hmm.
And they've now, because they're free of the entities, they can see what they were doing. They had no idea what the entities were doing to them and kept taking them back to the marijuana. One young boy who's 19, he's probably 21 now, said to me one day, look, I was just brushing my teeth, getting ready to go to bed. And the next minute, I found myself down the
Yeah.
shed smoking the bong. He said, I didn't want to be
Hmm.
there. Why am I here? And this is when he contacted me through another person, but it worked out really well.
Hmm.
And he's now free of it because he can see
That's
what
cool.
the entities are doing to him. At the age of 19, when I first worked with him, that was amazing for someone so young to have the awareness that we are being
Hmm.
manipulated all the time with low vibrational activities, gambling, hoarding, drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, whatever it is that's your crutch,
Yeah.
the entities will latch onto your crutch. My demonologist, my religious demonologist friend calls it the spiritual wound. Like, we're all wounded in
Mhm.
some way,
Yes.
and the entities attach themselves to that wound. Magic beings are different because they're contracted by other human beings to do
Mm.
harm. So that's slightly different in the way that they work. But you
Mhm.
mentioned light language. Now, I'm really interested. I don't know much about light language. Do you see it, hear it, feel it? What do you do with it when you receive it? Is it for a client? Is it for yourself? Is it for a purpose? Is it for an outcome?
Well, to be honest, I wasn't too sure when I heard it coming out of my voice. So I'm on my porch. My dog is getting close to the time she's going to transition. I'm backing on to indigenous land. So our acreage was backing on to this indigenous land. I always felt connected to the indigenous. So, anyways, I do believe that was part of it. I had previously been in a city, you may have heard of it, Sedona, Arizona. Have you heard of Sedona? Okay, so I had been
Yeah.
there and I had heard of this lady talk about light language, and I thought, well, that's interesting. I think that's what was happening for myself is these sounds were coming out with when I'm there with my elderly dog. So I didn't discount it. I just thought I can't talk about it. Who am I going to talk to it about? But after her hearing this Jamie Price and Sedona talk about light language, I thought, I think that's what it is. So I open up, I channel, it just allow it to come out. It would be like if you were doing Reiki and you just guided to this area to I don't think about it. There's sounds that are coming. So sounds of the soul sounds and it can be whatever it can be. I find that a lot of the sounds that I'm emitting, they do feel like they could be like indigenous. I'm just saying, and it just comes out. So it's something that just um, comes out naturally and freely, and it would be maybe for the certain churches or born again Christians that we know they can just do some talk there. It just some of these sounds that come out, maybe something similar to that. I don't know. But for me, it's just a natural sound. So I didn't discount it. And after that time that I mentioned between two major life surgeries, I thought, I'm just going to create a Facebook group because I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I'm going to do it. So you can channel light language by voice, by symbols. Could even be maybe a Reiki symbols, a type of a light language. So you can Google, check it out. I think everybody does. They just maybe haven't experimented with it or let it out. Maybe you've been somewhere, maybe in the shower, and these sounds are coming out. You go, I don't know what that is, but whatever, you discount it. So I bravely, and I have to say bravely because who just lets these crazy sounds out? But I have been, and I've been on different health seminars. I'm doing light language, and I do find it just boosts the healing. It just boosts the clearing. So
Yeah, because it's coming
you
from a
go,
higher vibration, isn't it?
it's the soul. It's I feel it's the soul. So and it's the soul. Sounds of the soul is how I would describe it.
Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. I didn't
Yeah,
know much about light language. I've never. I wonder if my tinnitus, which I don't think is tinnitus, like we talk about the
no.
magic hum, I can hear that low vibrational sound and magic is present. I have
Oh.
like, my dad used to call it an orchestra. He had it and he was quite psychic as well. Is the four different or five different tones, high vibrational sort of tones that I'm hearing in my head, is that some sort of light language that I don't know how to use? Like it's there all the time.
Yes,
So I
I'm
don't know
getting
what to do
yes.
with it.
I don't know, but when I asked just what you said, I'm getting a big yes on that, which is very cool. So if you're hearing that, at least I'm getting when I ask truth, what Anna said, I'm getting a big yes.
Yeah, because it doesn't come out here. Like it's not coming out the throat
No,
chakra.
so
I've never
you're
done any
here.
light language type stuff, but I hear the changes in these sounds in my
Cool,
head. It's interesting.
cool. So maybe what you could do is just for the fun, when you hear that, maybe just allow whatever comes out, So you hear it at the same time, you're just opening up. Just a suggestion. I don't know. Some people, like, they don't speak it, but they sign it. So if you go to, I actually do have a Facebook group, not as active in it anymore, but there is a light language, and you can see people do wonderful artwork, this light language, and different people around the world. So it's a light language group on Facebook. You'll see a picture of a fish, and I don't know why, but that is my group. But yes, it just, you know, sometimes again, after the moose situation where I got charged, it was in between those two times. And I thought, I got nothing to lose at this point. I don't know if I'm going to make it. I don't know if they can keep my blood pressure down. I know I've got this huge tumor. I know they're going to have to take it out. I don't know. So you just go, when I have to lose, nothing, got nothing to lose. So that's it. You call it a day and you just get on with your life.
I wonder if the moose charged at you. I'm going to look up afterwards what's the spiritual meaning of a moose.
Oh, I think I have at some point. I forget what it is.
Yeah, but I wonder if the moose charged you, maybe because it felt your vibration or your frequency or your
Mm.
energy or saw the colors of your vibration. Maybe it didn't feel threatened. Maybe it was curious, but it
No,
reacted in fear.
I think it wanted what I had. It was like, no, I want what you're doing. And it wasn't anger. It was just like, I want it. I want what you have. I want that. If you're going to feed that, I want what you're doing.
I also wondered too if it was hungry, if it wanted the hay.
Well, no, I did. It wanted the hay. It did want the hay, and I was in the way. Oh,
Yeah.
that even rhymes. I wanted the hay, and I was in the way. So, yeah, that's what it was. And it pissed me off. And so we were like, and
You
it
were
was
channeling your internal moose.
maybe, but wait for my chapter. If anybody has a book they want to collaborate, that's I've got the chapter for you.
Ah, the moose. Do you have any other Any other otherworldly, paranormal, unusual, strange, odd experiences you would like to share with the listeners? Because they're all relevant and they're all connected to
Well,
what we live in this
yes,
reality.
we're going to step back into another province in Canada. I was in an indigenous area once again called Naramata in British Columbia. So very indigenous land, and we were renting this property. And there's a garden area on a bit of a slope, and it has fencing around or netting to keep out animals. So I'm in there and I thought, okay, I'm going to do some gardening. And there was this step that I was on, and the step gave away, and I was being spun around like this. I could feel being spun around, and I crashed and I broke my upper shoulder. So that happened, and I know it was an entity. My son came to visit me afterwards, maybe months afterwards, and has very high intuition. And there was a knocking on the window in the house, and he knew that that was an entity. My husband also had an accident in the same house where he
Oh,
missed about 4 steps, and damn it really hurt his one knee, required a paramedic to come in. We had so many accidents. And I just feel that they did not want us on that land, did not want us on that land. And when you're presented with something, before we moved there, we already had an accident, a little physical accident with our car that should have been indication to not move to that location. So always listening to the intuition and not saying, "Oh, that's ridiculous." I'm not going to believe that that could be the case, that I'm being told not to listen to something. But I'm really advising people listen to your intuition. That was I was spun around, and I had several people test with me afterwards, and that was an entity that did that, and it was angry. It was angry. I was there.
yeah. A lot of the time, entities are in homes because of people's negative emotions, negative states, negative actions. And this can go back to when the house was built, even what the
Yeah.
house was built of, and actually on the land. When I do house clearings, I look at the
Mm-hmm.
land, I look at the structure of the building,
Mm-hmm.
and when light workers, haha, when you move into a new
Mm-hmm.
house, it's technically if it's new as in newly built, there can still be energy imprints and entities attached to the bricks, the mortar, the roofing and so forth, and the tradespeople
Yes.
tromping through your house. But also, if you buy houses that are 5, 10, 15, 20, 100, 300 years old, every
Yeah.
person that's lived there has left their
Yes.
negative emotional imprints, their trauma imprints, their mental health states, their addictions, whether they're smoking
Yes.
marijuana.
And this whole drug addiction, it's so upsetting, because it's encouraged at a very high level. That's the part that really upsetting. So I know how you clear entities, but we're talking at the highest possible level. And honest to God, I wish a whole bunch of us in the world could get together and do some major cleanup.
Well, I'm going to say something here I haven't said on any interviews or in my, oh, I've probably said it in a podcast. The world is run by Satanists
Yes.
on all different levels. And I'm only saying that because I have watched and listened to a lot of podcast episodes. There's one called Almost False on YouTube. It's a Christian podcast which talks to a lot of ex-Satanists who talk about what they got up to when they were Satanists.
Mhm.
And there's a chap in South Africa, I can't remember his name, but he's a well-known ex-Satanist who talks about a lot of the
Mhm.
activities that they got up to in all different
Mhm.
levels of society. I'll just leave it at that.
Mhm.
And how they
Mhm.
control everything. People's
Yes,
emotions, their moods. It is just, and it's really hard for light workers. The average everyday person just goes about their life. It's like the Matrix movie. You know, if you want to know, you'll
I
know. If you
know.
don't want to know, you'll just go through you'll live in the
Exactly.
Matrix.
I totally agree. It's like I mentioned today. I'm seeing this. Is nobody else bothered what's going on? The craziness across the street. This
No,
guy has lost it. And it's amazing. So it really does, I think, a lot for a lot of people who are whatever you want to call us, light workers, whatever, but empaths, we just want to hibernate because it's too nutty out there. And we're living in all these different timelines. And it's I don't know. I don't know where all this is going to head at the end of the day, what happens, but
well, I look at it this way.
crazy.
We can only do the best that we can do. And
Yes.
that is for every single person in the world. We all make our own choices through free will. So if you're dabbling in magic and sending out crap to other people, you're going to get hit with, it'll come back to you, and the universe will deal with you in its own good time. But we can't fully clean out all darkness in the world because the world is, well, the whole cosmos works on balance. I call it universal balance. You have to have the light and the dark for the balance. And I think why we're here as light workers is to help those who are willing and ready to change their behaviours and their patterns, like the young men with the marijuana issues. They're now
Mhm.
aware. So it's about bringing awareness to people
Yes.
when they're ready, if they want it, and if they want to work with it. Otherwise, if they don't want it,
Yeah.
they'll just keep doing the same things. Their choice, free will, their life. But we
Free will.
can't clean out the world of all darkness. It just doesn't work. It's just
I
human
know.
nature. We are not 100% living in the light. We all have darkness. We all have dark thoughts. We all have,
Absolutely.
it's about what we do with it. Do we learn from it? Do we grow? Do we
Exactly.
change? Yeah, it's a constant battle. It's a struggle. It's the devil's playground.
It is. And as light workers, we mirror. So, you know how people
Yeah.
just they really like you or they're really repelled. It seems to go
Oh,
one way or the
yes.
other. And so it's like you're putting up a mirror to issues that they don't like about themselves. And
Yeah.
I didn't really put the two and two together until the last few years. So you don't know. You go like, why is that person not? I'm a nice person. Why don't they? Yeah, just can be totally repelled. So we're putting up a mirror and we all get these reflections because you're right. We're the dark and the light and nobody's perfect. And yeah, we just have to do our best on a day to day and yeah, do our best, be an example, I guess, for how and empowered. I mean, I'm all, again, as I mentioned, very much about empowerment. It's helping you help yourself. It's not me. I'm not responsible for all that's going on for you. However, I can highlight, I can show, and have you participate with me. And let's work together. Let's um, and clear out what needs to be cleared out, and I'll help facilitate that so that you're feeling lighter. Your level of consciousness is more at a higher frequency. So of that love, the highest frequency of love, or maybe now it's being authentic. I've heard even beyond love. Being authentic is huge. And I will say that the more we can clear out the entities that are affecting us, the more authentic we'll be. And that to me is what we're missing so much in the world right now. But when you're authentic, yeah, you will be attracting people as to your health and your business.
So, on that note, Brenda, how can people contact
Yes.
you to look at connecting with you and learning about your work and looking at your sessions that you do? I noticed you mentioned to me you have a maintenance special available.
I do. So this is what it is. So what I'd love to do, and I is meet with people on Zoom because this is how we meet nowadays. And so again, it can be anything that's going on as to your body. Maybe you're not getting that influx of clients. I came from the corporate world to about 30 years, so I'm well aware of business. I've lived internationally in Bolivia, South America, and Kazakhstan. I have lived in different parts of the world, and so having a business that we can thrive, not just no, we all need to thrive. What's in the way? Is there an entity that's keeping your energy down, your vibration down? Let me find out what is that entity. We meet. I go through the process. Maybe it's light language, maybe it's a clearing. So it's very clearing. No matter what, we're looking at doing some clearings. We meet one-to-one on Zoom, just like this today. And I check what it is, where did it come from, how is it affecting you? Are your chakras affected? Is there any contracts, vows, soul fragments? There's a multitude of areas that we can look into. I then, on an energetic level, download and clear through my various methods. Um, as I've mentioned, dowsing or light language. And so I do have a special, Anna, that, for your people, and it's a maintenance special. And you can go to the link there. Do you show the link, Anne, or how do we go about
I
that?
will put the link in the description box
Okay,
for
perfect.
both the podcast and the YouTube interview.
Awesome. So that's it, you guys. Just very simple. Think about what's the area that's really bothering you. And maybe it is on a physical level. Um, and also as a medical intuitive, I'll go to where that is. I've been trained in pathogenics. So maybe it's a physical pathogen. Maybe it's the energy of a pathogen. Maybe the energy of the mold could be related to an entity. So you never know where we go. I test where we go, and we want to go to that point of origin and clear it. So, and we do that, various ways, and get you really empowered so that you're stepping up. Maybe you can help your children. We need to work together. And the higher, ultimately, the more people that are doing this, it could be through prayer, through whatever method, Reiki or whatever. There's not one thing that's the magic. We can help raise the vibration of the world. Maybe we will overcome all of this darkness. Maybe we will tip the scale where the light is shining, and the darkness is, they're getting desperate, feeling they're not in control. Maybe that's where we will be, shining the light. So I'm going to help you, empower you to start shining the light for yourself, for your family. And we meet one-to-one, send you the recording, audios. I convert my little personalized audio, whatever issue that is, send it to you as MP3. And then there we go. So that's my special to everybody here.
And your website?
Is Brenda Lainof. So, of course, Brendalainof.com,
Wonderful.
gmail.com.
Brenda, it's been wonderful speaking with you today. I love aligning with all sorts of energy workers around the world. Thank you for coming on Perfectly Paranormal.
Well, thank you. I enjoy it too. And it's so great to have practice, whatever you want to call us, light workers, different parts of the world. If you could look at the globe, you might see a little light here in this country and this, popping up. Just think of those are all the light workers. And let's, right in, unite, bring our energies in, douse in, bring it in together. So whatever with intention. So whatever I'm doing and working with a client with intention, this then is helping on a global level. So it's definitely a major way to look at this, because you think, oh, what can I do? Well, with intention, whatever we do in a session, in a call, knowing that we're going to work on a global level.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Brenda.
Yeah, thank you. That was fun.